Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, let's get started. I hope everyone's doing well today. Welcome to our telecon on best practices for using KLAS data. My name is Larry Salazar. I'm the Director of Marketing here for KLAS. Before we get too far into this, I first want to just say congratulations to all of you for all your hard work. You are all here on this call for one reason. It's because your providers, your customers have named you category leaders for 2013, and that is something that you should be very, very proud of. So we are very excited to work with you on this. We're excited for you as you go out there to tout your new title. As category leaders for 2013, we obviously want to share with you some best practices for data use and some ideas that you may want to consider for any of your downstream efforts. So today, let's see here. Today, we have three of us who are going to be speaking and presenting. First, Lawrence Silver. He's going to talk about logistics, the collateral pieces, the press release, the approval process. And then Kate Jacobs, she's going to jump on. She's going to talk about social media, the booth, logos, and then myself, I'll come in and talk a little bit more about our new data use policy, and also share with you a little bit about our upcoming KLAS app and how that might benefit you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and afterwards what we'll do is we'll make some time for Q&A. So as we make presentations, make our presentation, you'll see on your tool as you're using GoToWebinar, there's a tool on the right-hand side where you'll be able to type in your questions. Please feel free to ask questions at any given time. We might not be able to address it right in the middle of it, but certainly at the end we're going to have time for Q&A. Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Lawrence.
Thank you, Larry. I'd like to add my congratulations to Larry's. You know, it's quite an accomplishment, and it's something you should definitely take a moment to pause. Great work, everyone. Let me walk you through the relevant dates, awards, timeframes, that sort of thing. The Best in Class report itself for all of your awards are going to be officially publishes on January 30th. However, for the category leaders, we like to create some excitement because a lot of people watch those. So we're going to be releasing those on Twitter beginning January 27th in alphabetical order by segment name. So if your segment is between acute care EMR infection control, acute care EMR to infection control and monitoring, that one is going to be announced, or those awards will all be announced via Twitter as well as on our website, January 27th. Interactive patient systems through pharmacy outpatient retail, that's going to happen on January 28th. And on January 29th, it's going to be point of use, inventory management, all the way through VNA and image archive. And of course, it will be reiterated when the Best in Class award book publishes that Friday. The distribution date of the awards themselves, the Best in Class trophies, the category leader trophies rather, those will be coming out on February 24th, the first day of HIMSS. If you're going to be attending HIMSS, please let us know, and please let us know who we can bring the awards to at the booth. What we're going to do this year is we're going to go the Monday morning, the first day of HIMSS for any of you who are attending, and we're going to bring around the awards themselves so you can display them during the show, and that way it's a nice opportunity to tout your achievement. If you are not going to be attending HIMSS, just please let us know, and we will arrange to ship them to you, and we can ship them on March 3rd when we return. If you have any questions about that, you're going to have Caitlin's, myself, and Larry's contact information at the end of this presentation. The next portion that I'm going to jump into is the data use best practices, specifically surrounding press releases and collateral. This is the #1 area that we get questions about. How can I tout my award? How can I use it? As Larry said earlier, downstream marketing is a lot of what we do, and we want to help you position yourselves and your achievement in the best light possible. So the first thing I'd like to say is we created a special website, special landing page. Everyone, by the way, you're going to receive a copy of this presentation at the end of this webinar, so you will have these links and you'll have everything sent to you. We created a special landing page because that's something that we've had requested time and again, we typically get a lot of the same questions. And we like to just have one central place to store everything, and that way you'll know that that site will be updated continually, so therefore you can always be on top of what's happening in your segment. Obviously, when you want to use KLAS data, the Category Leader Award, please, as always, request them from us, request approval from us. Our turnaround time is typically about 72 hours. We try and rush it when we can. Please let us know if there's any extenuating circumstances, but for the most part, it's about a 72-hour turnaround. So let's jump into this landing page, this web page we created. Oh. So in creating this page, you'll see it's broken up into collateral examples, website examples, social examples, press release examples, and of course the data use policy. Let me just walk you through for a moment how this site works. So let's say we click on collateral examples. You'll see a collateral example number 1. The piece below frames the company's achievement well. The entire body has one central message and the piece is footnoted correctly. Now, obviously our concern is making sure you represent yourself in the best light possible. So that's why when we have the footnote at the bottom here, that's obviously something we're going to be looking for. But what Riva did in this case was they did a great job highlighting what they were trying to do, and it's one central message, leading the pack in customer satisfaction. Riva identified that that's something that a lot of their customers have a question about, and they were able to showcase what providers said in one of our reports, and they were able to incorporate it to build out their central message. That way it's not them tooting their own horn, but it's providers just confirming what they already knew. We actually have on each of these slides several examples, and you'll have this later to go through at your leisure. Some of these are very creative. Actually they're all very creative. The one thing I want to point out is we're not saying that you should necessarily do the same things they're doing. What we are saying, though, is certainly stay within the data use policy. But even more than that, you can use these ideas to spark an idea of how you can best tout your own accomplishment. So I won't go through all of them. Please feel free to read them later. Some of them are, they're all clever, but some of them definitely you sit up and take notice. Website example, same type of layout. Here's a banner ad, why it's good. Another simple banner ad. Here are some things that people have used when they've won multiple awards. Go through this at your leisure. See if you have any questions. If you have something that you want to get some clarification on, feel free. And the last portion I'm going to be reviewing is press releases. This is something that gets a lot of attention. There's a lot of good ways to do press releases, especially for all of you category leaders. You more than anyone have a lot to be proud of. So certainly doing a press release is something I know a lot of you are considering. These are just some examples. We like the way they put a lot of hyperlinks in. Certainly they used a chart from one of the reports, as well as some commentary. Please take some time, go through these, see if you have any questions, see if it sparks any ideas, and if you need any clarification or anything, again, that's what we're here for. I am now going to take the time to I'm actually going to turn it over to Caitlin, who's going to take us through social media best practices.
All right, so social media is an ideal way for you to promote your Category Leader Award. Through social media, you can not only just promote your awareness about your award and let the healthcare community be aware that you won, but you can also start a conversation around it. So we recommend sharing your content and sharing your Category Leader Award through all social media platforms: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, blogging, and Google+. So quickly, I'm just going to go over a few examples and kind of some best practices around that. So with Twitter, we recommend using the Category Leader hashtag. That is what we will be using in all of our announcements, and that way, there's a consistency there, and people can follow the conversation. So use that when you're talking about winning your award, and also using the @KLAS research, just another way to create that connection there. So that people understand, where that Category Leader Award came from, and that we can just, have some connection between those Twitter posts. We also recommend retweeting from KLAS. So we will be announcing each of the Category Leader Awards on our Twitter, And so you can just retweet those whenever you're mentioned. We also recommend having your employees post from their personal accounts. So we saw a lot of great examples of this last year with best-in-class medical equipment from companies like Philips that had a bunch of their employees coming out and celebrating with them through their social media platforms, and using your employees as a way to get that out there into the general public and to just kind of get some more energy there. That's been something we've seen that's been really great. So here's just a few examples of people using Twitter to share their category leader award with the general public. So also LinkedIn is another great platform with a lot of professionals on LinkedIn. It's a great way to gain that credibility and to share your award with your peers and with healthcare providers. We recommend using the category leader logo, which I will get to shortly, as part of your LinkedIn page in your company image or on your cover photo. We also recommend you can post on your company page to make sure that you're sharing awareness about your category leader award, and also to use your award as part of your About Us on your company profile. With blogs, blogs are a great opportunity to tell your individual category leader story. So how you became a category leader, what it means to you, what it is that differentiates you from other people in your market segment, and just kind of allows that opportunity to tell a story, because usually there's some great stories behind how people came up to be able to win these big awards. So blogging is always a great opportunity to do that, and there's an example as you can see here. Facebook and Google+, we also just recommend always sharing through that, and just kind of integrating all of your social media platforms. Make sure you're getting as much awareness as you can around this award to create that credibility and awareness. The next thing I'm going to talk about briefly is trade show best practices. So many of you are going to HIMSS this year and other trade shows throughout the year. It's really the perfect opportunity to share your category leader award with the healthcare community. So we recommend using the category leader logo within your booth design, and also if you're giving away collateral at your booth, that's another great opportunity to use the logo with that. Also to display your category leader award. As Lauren mentioned earlier, you'll be getting that the first day of HIMSS. So if you can have that in your booth, so that when people come by, that's clearly on display. That's something we've seen be very powerful at trade shows in the past. And then additionally, we also recommend having your booth staff, when people come to your booth, have them educated on what it means to be a category leader through class, so that they can speak to that and they can explain to people what that means, that you're a category leader, that you are #1 in your segment, and just kind of use that as a conversational piece throughout the trade show experience. So 2 things about logos. First of all, if you have not already done so, please send your company logo to Larry, our Director of Marketing. This is the first year that we have a category leader logo, which is really exciting because you can use this logo for multiple purposes, whether it's a collateral piece or your booth or a billboard or an ad. So we're really excited that we have this category leader logo for you this year. As you can see, there's a hyperlink that will take you to that media kit that Lawrence was showing you earlier, and there will be different versions of the logo that you can download in different formats. So, and then if you need a different format, you can always contact us as well, and we can make sure you get that. So we're very excited about that, and we hope you are too. And I'm going to hand off the time to Larry now.
Thanks, Kate. Okay, just so you know, we are going to send you this presentation, the set of slides, and so you'll be able to access the link from there. You don't have to jot it down if you don't want to. We'll get it to you right after the presentation. That having said, I'm going to talk a little bit now about the data use policy change. Actually, I'm not really going to go that deep into it today, primarily because we have made some significant or extensive changes to it. They're not major necessarily, but there is a lot of changes. And some of you are familiar with our policy, and so whether you are familiar or if you're not familiar, you'll want to go in and review it and be familiarized with it. I can tell you this, though. We are making changes to how you use specialty reports, commentaries, alerts, even our live data, etc. Again, these are not dramatic changes per se, but there are a lot of tweaks here and there. So again, I just want to make sure you guys go and download the new data use policy, which you can access on a landing page. And again, the link will be provided to you through our presentation slides after this presentation itself. Okay? Okay. I want to talk to you about, actually, before I even touch on that, before I touch on the KLAS app, real quickly, guys, Lawrence mentioned a little bit earlier about the data use application process. There is a data form that you guys will want to use. Some of you have never done this before. Just know that there is a form on that landing page where you can click on it, download it, and then you can fill it out. Now, this is really important for us to do. The reason is because if you do that, it will save us a tremendous amount of time. So we don't have to research where you were citing the data or what have you. And what that means is it'll take less time for us to respond back to you, and I'm sure you can appreciate all of that. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the KLAS app. All right, we don't have an app right now, but we are currently developing one, and we're planning on releasing it publicly at HIMSS. Okay, so our goal with this app is we want to release it, like I said, at HIMSS in late February, and anyone can download the app. It is gated like our website, so that means people will have to register. But once they've registered, they will be able to access the information that we put on that app. And that's really important because of the information that we are putting on there. And this will apply to you mostly. It'll feature best-in-class scores or category leader scores. So that's the most important piece. It'll have access to specialty reports. So if you're going to be citing maybe some of the other reports, and if you did really well on some of the specialty reports, that's something else that you will want to keep in mind because we will be featuring it in the app. So you want to push them there if you have the opportunity. And we're working on potentially have some sharing capabilities, but at the end of the day, this is a really light version. What really is happening is we're getting ready to roll out a whole bunch of features, but we're going to set them up every few months. So there will be different cool features every several months that we'll be releasing. Again, most relevant point here is that because you're a category leader, you want to push your numbers out there. So the KLAS app will feature that. Let me show you how it looks, okay? Just real quickly, this is just one of the designs. We actually, it's slightly different from this, but this is, we're continuing to develop this app. But just so you know, the basic structure is there. So if I go into the KLAS app and I go into the segment, you'll see all the segments on the left-hand side. Then you go to, say, for instance, you click on our search practice management, and here's your companies, the name of the companies, and then their rankings on the left-hand side, the scores on the right-hand side, just as you would see in a best-in-class report. Okay? The only difference is if I click on here, if I clicked on company A, I'll go to this next image, which is your subcategory scores. And that includes, say, for instance, your sales and contracting, your functionality, your implementation, those things. And let me just tell you, this is really important because we are actually putting the same data on the best-in-class report itself. There's a difference when we're in building the best-in-class report, which features also the category leaders. Last year and the years before that, we usually have just this table with numbers on them. Right? So you'll see the name of the organization, the product name, their overall score, their plus or minus trend, their confidence, and what have you. We've made it very different for the winner, for the category leader, and the best-in-class winner. We've kind of made it a little bit more of a highlighted, and you'll see that in the new designs. That being said, I just want to go back to this app for a moment. Again, because it features the category leader scores in there, this is a great opportunity for you guys to just highlight it to your providers, to your customers, because that's what they're going to see. They're going to see you guys are number one. We're going to make it easier for you guys. If you guys want to push the app, we're going to make it easier for you. We'll have a link or a QR code for you to provide to the customer, and they can just scan it, and it'll take them to the Apple or Android store. Okay. That's basically what we wanted to talk about today. I think we've covered pretty much everything. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to open it up to questions. And again, if you didn't hear me a little bit earlier, you can submit your questions on a tool, and you can type it in, and Kate will read the questions to us, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. And if we don't address it while we're still on the call, we'll try to get to it afterwards. Also, one other thing just to keep in mind before we start answering the questions, hey, if you got some questions that you want to ask privately, just give us a call. There's no problem. This is our contact information. Give us a call. Send us an email directly. We'd be happy to chat with you. Okay? And I'll turn time over to Kate.
All right, so the first question is, what is the press release review process? Do we need to have KLAS review the press release, or is it a KLAS authorized quote we need to include?
Do you want to take that, Morris?
Yes. The data use policy is, the process is pretty straightforward. You'll email the piece that you would like reviewed to datause@clasresearch.com, and from there we will review it. We'll typically turn it around in 72 hours. Obviously, as Larry pointed out, please include the data use request form. If not, we'll be requesting it anyway. But it does slow down the process because we have to often find out where that reference came from. From there, you will then you'll either get a firm, yes, this is great, approved, move forward, or it'll be a, hey, help me understand this, or there's something, there's something a little bit wrong on here, could you please correct it? At that point, if there's any corrections that we need you to make those corrections, and then we will then send it back to us, and then you'll get the final approval, and then of course go. That's typically what the process is. If that doesn't answer your question, please feel free to submit again.
All right, the next question is, if we aren't a KLAS member, will we still get access to client feedback and scores so we can use them in press releases and collateral?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question one more time?
Yes. If we aren't a KLAS member, will we still get access to client feedback and scores so we can use them in press releases and collateral?
We will have to talk about that. Usually if you're a KLAS member, if you're a subscribing member, you have access to the report. If you do not have access to the report, that's because you obviously are not a subscriber. So look, I think the best thing to do is just give us a call, and let's talk that through a little bit. And we'll try to answer your question better.
All right. So yeah, if we don't, fully answer your question, or if we just don't have, all the information right now to deliver to you, just feel free to email us, and we can, get on a call, or we can get you in touch with the right person that can, we can get you the right information. The next question is, how many companies competed for top awards?
That's information that we can't actually share right now. You'll see that when the report comes out. But you'll be able to see it in the report how many vendors were considered in that particular award.
And so it's different for each of the categories?
It is different for every category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question. Do we refer to ourselves as category leader or best in class? The answer to that is you refer to yourself as category leader, and you use the category leader logo, not the best in class. Correct. The next question is, we are being announced on January 29th. We are being announced on January 29th. Can we put out our press release on January 29th when it's released on Twitter?
Yes, you absolutely will be.
Yeah. So as soon as it comes through Twitter, and we can get you, exact times. That hasn't the announcements have not been scheduled yet. We can get you exact times. If you want to know that, just send me an email, and we will tell you when you're going to be announced so that you can schedule your press release at that same time, as long as you are announcing it after we make our announcement through Twitter and through our website. All right, so let's see. Can we, okay, same question. So as soon as we tweet it, yes, you can start publicizing that you are a category leader. Let's see. Will we receive an advanced copy of the report or some kind of documentation to use?
So we do not send out an advanced copy of the report. That's just been our policy specifically around the best-in-class report, again, which includes the category leaders. We normally do allow for that. We do normally allow for it in our specialty reports, partly because a lot of people, in preparing for a promotional material, in the specialty report, they include a lot of different types of insights. And sometimes they're not just scores. So in a best-in-class report, it's all scores, and it's not the same kind of report that you would normally have. And so, yeah, no, in this case, so we don't normally give that out to anybody else for, say, for instance, review. Now, if you need information, like, say, for instance, your score itself, we'd be happy to help you out with that. We can get you something for that. But other than that, we don't hand out the actual report itself to anyone prior to the release.
All right. The next question is, will someone from class provide a quote for a press release if asked?
Now that's a great question. We have not been asked that before. So I don't know that I have an answer for you for that one, primarily because I think our policy, I shouldn't say I think, in general our policy is is that we only provide quotes that are already published in a report. And since there is no quote in the best in class, again, because this is a scores report, I think my first inclination would say, hey, we probably won't be able to do that. But contact us a little bit after this, and we'll see if we can come up with a more definitive answer on that.
Okay, the next question is, will class issue a press release for each category or just all of the categories? The answer to that is we will just be releasing one press release that will encompass, the key takeaways and important ideas that we talk about in the report. So it'll just be one press release. Next question, when is the earliest a press release can be distributed? As soon as we make our announcement. So as soon as we have it on our website and through our Twitter, that is when you'll be able to send your press release out. And for those exact times, you can contact me. My information is included in the slide deck. When can you share the data? I think that is answering the same question. Does your data include market size data?
No, not in this report. No.
Next question is confused press release. So, okay, it sounds like there's some confusion about the press release on January 30th. We're announcing on Twitter January 29th. So we're just announcing the category leaders up the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And then on the 30th, we'll be announcing all of the best in class winners as well. And that's when the press release will come out. I hope that clears that up. Can we get our scores this week for our press release?
We can get you scores, although just as everything else, it is embargoed. There is absolutely no sharing outside your organization until we have released the information.
Can we reference the specialty report commentary in our category leader press release?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again?
So they're wondering if they can use commentary from a specialty report in their category leader press release. So can they combine information from two different reports?
No, they're two different reports. So they would be tied to those individual reports. So in combining it, the only way you could do that is if you're actually putting a press release about that other report as well.
Okay. Who should we contact to get our scores? Your class provider or your class contact that is on your, when you log in, you should be able to see that. If you don't know who that is, or if you're not currently a member of class, you can contact one of us and we can help you get either situated with that, or we can figure out a way of who you need to contact. There's quite a few questions about quotes that Larry had already spoken to. So if we're going to take that probably offline for right now. If you are interested in a quote, we can have another conversation about that, but probably for these press releases, it probably won't be the best way to go. Let's see. What information would we have available to us for our press releases for January 29th? So you can get your scores if you contact your KLAS representative, and then you'll also know, that you won the category leader award, which is usually, that's all the information that people have initially when they create their press releases. All right, it looks like we are at 3 o'clock, so we're going to wrap things up. I know that there were some additional questions that started coming through that we weren't able to get to. So if you want to, email those questions to us and address us through email or give us a call, you're more than welcome to do that, and we would be, happy to help you out in any way that we can. Larry, Lawrence, did you have anything else you wanted to say to close up?
Nothing more except to say congratulations again. Again, you should be very proud of the score that you guys earned, and again, this is what the providers have stated. They have voiced their opinion, and you guys are number one. So congratulations, and we're looking forward to working with you guys and hopefully seeing you at HIMSS.
All right, thank you so much.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.